Shemai Sitachi Kroisoi Chris Doi. What is cracking, ladies, gents, boys, girls, anybody who is, well, anyone. Today we are talking about book number 17 in the Wizard series, Island of the Lizard King. Now this bad boy here, I'm not sure what number it is in the Puffin series. I'm not sure what number it is in the old Scholastic series, because if you haven't noticed, I'm going by the Wizard series, because at the end of the day, I tend to prefer the Wizards books. But I am waffling along. I am waffling on here, boys and girls. Let's actually talk about the book. So it goes without saying that this bad boy is published back in the 80s, early 2000s, and I'm gonna say late 2010s. Was I right? Yeah, late 2020, 2018. So that is it is about as you expected. It's one of those ones that was within the original line. What does it say on the back? Let me wrinkle the packaging. I don't know why it's in there. It's in quite a hard plastic cover. Don't know if it's a book protected. Don't know. Don't care, boys. So on the back it says kidnapped by a vicious race of lizard men from. Oh my days! I'm gonna have to take this bad boy off because I cannot see what it says on the back and it's killing me inside. There we are. Kidnapped by a vicious race of lizard men from Fire Island, the young men of Oyster Bay face a grim future of slavery. Sounds like the Mumbles in Swansea. Starvation and lingering death. Their new master is the hideous Lizard King, who holds sway over his lands of mutants by the dark powers of black magic and voodoo. Definitely the Mumbles in Swansea. So let me just oh, so loud, boys, so loud. So yeah, what you have really is you just head off to an exotic land that's filled with pirates, filled with lizard men, very reminiscent of the lizard men from Warhammer. They've got a weird name like Seraphon. They look cool, but they look like these bad boys in the book. It's a really cool book, in all honesty. It is really cool. I love the setting, but I think I want to talk about some covers because, you know, at the end of the day, I love looking at the artwork. So without further ado, Scooby-Doo, let's check out the old Puffin. So the Puffin cover, it has the Lizard King with a Black Panther. You got the alien, the face hugger looking thing on his head. It looks like a crown. And if you sat there and you thought, oh, he's just wearing a crown because he's king, you would be mistaken, but understandably so. I think it's meant to look like a crown. It's like a facehugger thing. It punches like a proboscis into the dude's brain, and he's immortal. That is like one of the. That's why it's there, to make him harder to fight. He is the dark magic and voodoo element. So the cover's pretty cool. You got the guy holding on what looks like a scimitar. Is it scimitar? Is that how you pronounce it? I have no idea. So yeah, he's like this fire. You got the Lizard King. He's holding his Black Panther looking bad boy. It's all pretty good. It's quite thematic. It's quite creepy. In all honesty, I really like the old cover. And to be brutally honest, I didn't pull up the right cover right then. It had the green banner on that one. Yeah, the one I'm looking at. Same thing. It looks pretty badass. So I think we should go on then to the 2002 Wizards special. And this bad boy is it's very similar to the Puffin in the sense you got a Lizard King, you've got the fire sword, scimitar looking thing, you've got the proboscis looking face hugger bad boy punching his genital into the lizard skull. Is proboscis a genital? I don't know, I don't really care. He's sort of standing in what looks like a tomb or something, to be honest with you, which is weird because that's not what you encounter him. Spoilers, you don't encounter this bad boy in a tomb. A bit misleading. It looks dark, it looks edgy. I pulled up this book on Goodreads because if you watch these videos, I review every single one of these bad boys on Goodreads. I could not find this cover on the Goodreads. It's just a bunch of like Wizard specials, but with like revamps, older versions, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. It is ultimately what it is. But this is the cover I've got physically anyway. Yeah, it's the same cover. The dude looks quite scary, looks quite intimidating, which is good. The fire sword, on the other hand, it literally just looks like a shiny sword. I know this is going to sound really cheesy. What they could have done, you remember the Bionicles, and they had like fire swords, which was literally just like an awkward shaped flame that was red. Just give him something like that. That would have looked really cool. So, without further ado, I think it's time to look at the old Scholastic. We need to look at the Scholastic version. My goodness, it is blue. Dabbity dabbity. It is blue. It's It's not that good, to be honest. I mean, the Scholastic covers are always quite minimalistic. They're always aesthetically pleasing. I mean, if I had the book in my hand, it'd be pretty cool. I'd like it, blah, blah, blah. But the cover is very blue. You got this Lizard King looking directly at you, which the angle isn't really flattering, which, sorry, lizard people. Oh, that's going to set off some conspiracy theorists. Sorry, reptilians. I don't really care for it. It's not a bad cover. It's just I don't really feel for it at all. You got the proboscis looking facehugger thing. He looks a bit like a crown again. I like that this like head crab thing looks like a crown. I can't remember his name. That's why I'm just like beating around the bush here, guys. I'm just gonna admit that now. I don't know what the thing's called. It's got a weird name though. The cover's pretty cool. In all honesty, it's pretty cool for what it is, if you get what I mean. Ultimately, my final verdict on these covers, I'm gonna have to say Puffin, Wizard, Scholastic. I like the Wizards one and I like the Puffin one, but I think the Puffin one is just that tad bit cooler. It's just a tiny bit cooler. So yeah, I think it's about time now that we talk about the story. Now, I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to walk you through the adventure itself. I'm not going to be like, turn to this reference, because that reference, it's not very good. I think I have a feeling that I might have done that in the last one a bit too much. Either that one or another book video I've done, and I can't remember. I think I spoiled a bit too much of one of them anyway. But let's talk about the story, you know. Is it a good story? Is it a bad story? How is the adventure? How are the characters? Are there any good encounters? Are there any standout encounters? Well, let me tell you, boys and girls. So, straight off the bat, what you're going to find out is there's pirates. There's lizard men, and it's all quite exotic. You just travel off to, like, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's nothing like Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm not going to say sorry, because that was, we all make mistakes, don't we? So it's all in like a desert island. There's like tropical rainforest jungles. There's a lot of like cave people. You fight a lot of cave women. No, you fight one cave woman, which was really weird because generally speaking, with these books, you have like cavemen. You just slay all of the cavemen. It's a bit weird. It was like, ooh, am I just gonna have to save this woman? No, not save. That's the wrong word. Am I gonna have to speak to this woman? But no, you just stab her. You just stab her, which I thought was quite weird. Equality and all that, but generally speaking, you know, it's something that I haven't seen done in one of these books before, and it caught me off guard. But you got that cave woman, you got dinosaurs, you got lizard men, like I said. I think you have the wolves, you got like a giant crab, but I think oddly enough, one of my favourite characters has to be Mungo. Now Mungo is a pirate. He's your bog standard pirate. He's your Poundland pirate. You know, you'd find him on the bottom shelf in Poundland. You pick him up and his face is painted onto the wrong side of his head. That's Mungo. And Mungo, being the mad lad that he is, he don't really spend much time with you. And that's the thing with fighting fantasy books. What you find out is characters don't tend to spend much time with you. They're just there, and then they're like, alright, well, they're not always like, alright, ta-ra. I think, in all honesty, a lot of them just die. A lot of them just die unexpectedly so that you can continue being the main character, and that is simpler to write. It is what it is, but ultimately, yeah, you got Mungo. I liked him because he's a pirate, and I quite like pirates. And yeah, so basically, your adventure, you're just sent off to slay the Lizard King. Really, that's your goal. And there's plenty of hurdles along the way. For one, you don't actually know how to slay him. You find out that you need to do something special to slay him. You stop off at a shaman. Now, the shaman's like, you gotta have a seagull feather in your hair, mate. And it's like, why? Well, you don't ask why. Maybe you think to yourself, I remember picking up the seagull. You find a dead seagull, you pluck one of his feathers, stick in your hair, and it says you go there feeling a little bit self-conscious. And I mean, yeah, I would. I'd feel pretty self-confident. Pretty self-conscious, but I shaved my head, so it'd be pretty funny. Well, it wouldn't be funny, I'd just have to stab it into my scalp. But I digress. I mentioned shaman. One thing that I do want to touch on with this book, one thing that I do want to mention, with the wizard print anyway, probably the Puffin version, the tribes people are very much just that. Is it a racial stereotype? It's something that wouldn't be deemed as okay in today's day and age. I'm not sure if the Scholastic version rectifies that. If by all means, you know, if you have If you, the viewer, have the Scholastic version on your lap or on your shelf, feel free to type in the comments. You know, are they still not not okay portrayal that we just wouldn't be allowed to do today, or are they, you know, just like tweaked? I don't know. I think that, in all honesty, right, I think that they would look cool wearing skulls on that, because they'll look pretty badass. It'll make them look quite scary as well. But I digress. So yeah, the story is it's your bog standard story. It just feels really short, and that's really my only complaint, was that I finished the book and I was writing my review on Goodreads, and I was like, what do I even say? What do I even say? I gave it 3 stars because it's not amazing in my opinion. I didn't think it was amazing. I enjoyed it. It was a fun read. It was an interesting adventure, but I was like, I can't even remember any of the... You fight a giant crab, and that stood out to me. You fight a cave woman, that stood out to me, because she's just sort of defending a little cave and you just kill her. It was like, oh, thanks bro, cool. We don't even find out she's sentient, we just stab her. Yeah, it's one of them books kind of thing where it feels like a very dry adventure. It feels like a very dry adventure. But one thing I did actually enjoy at all times, I always felt like, do you remember those old promotional Lego pictures where they'd have the Lego set, but the background would just be blue? Dabba-dee dabba-die, it would just be like that blue sunset looking thing. It always felt like I was walking through a Lego set, but without the Lego, just with that horror. Well, it's not horror, but I quite like it. It's nostalgic, with that nostalgic blue background. It was nice. It felt quite aged though. The book felt quite old, and I think it showed that it was quite old. Because, to be honest with you, even though I like Warhammer, I don't really care for lizard people. I think it's weird. I think they're weird as like a race. But it is what it is. I am digressing though once again. So the story. Your main goal is to find out how to slay this Lizard King. You go to the shaman. The shaman's like, you have to do this. You have to go through my trials. And he says, but beware, the trials are disturbing. And then what you find out is the trials aren't very disturbing at all. They're pretty easy, if I'm honest. I say they're pretty easy. I cheat, so of course they're gonna be easy for me. They might be hard, but now that I mention hard, the difficulty in this book is actually pretty naughty, because what you're gonna find out is there's so many chances for you to just have loads of health points stripped from you. I think it's stamina. I don't know why I call it HP. You have so many chances to lose a fat wad of stamina, and obviously you run out, you die. So it's like, do you want to do this? It's like, yeah, go on, in for a penny, in for a pound, boom, you're dead. And it's like, well, you know, it's one of those things. Stamina management is actually quite important. Like, you're gonna have to make sure you're eating, you're healing, you're just not getting beaten up in every fight. And the fights, they felt quite consistent, they felt quite constant. You're getting into so many scraps, and it makes the lands feel quite dangerous, because the lands are obviously quite dangerous. I think they referred to the lizard men as mutants. I think it would have been cool if they're just lizard men and there are lizard women out there making more lizard babies, but apparently they're mutants. But yeah, your main goal after finding out how to slay the Lizard King is ultimately slaying the Lizard King. And I mean, the end fight is actually pretty badass. It's pretty cool. You know, I don't want to spoil too much. If you're quite sensitive to spoilers, skip like 10 seconds ahead. So basically, yeah, the Lizard King's overlooking a war because you've freed a bunch of dwarf slaves and you're fighting the war with his lizard men. Right, spoilers over. So you bump up to the Lizard King, and he's like, yo, well, he's not saying yo, is he? Because he's a lizard. He goes, rah, probably. So you bump up to him, and he's got like this Black Panther looking thing. It's all pretty cool. It's pretty menacing. You fight his Black Panther dude. I don't think it's called a Black Panther. I think I'm thinking of Black Panther, the superhero. But you fight the dude. You fight the Panther. You slay the Panther, and the Lizard King's like, he's just devastated that you've just slain his pet, essentially. And this is why, you know, when you walk your like pet bulls and you think you look really hard, if somebody like, you know, if that dog's not like an actual attack dog, don't use it in a fight. And I got a feeling this Black Panther wasn't meant to be an attack cat. Saying that, it was a tough fight, but you slay the Panther, and then the Lizard King's obviously quite upset, and then it's revealed that not only do you have a monkey on your shoulder, you have a monkey, by the way, a cute monkey, It's a very cute monkey. You have a cute monkey and you have a fire sword. You have stolen one of the Lizard King's fire swords, and it was just under an illusion. So you slay the Lizard King. You slay the Lizard King, and do you want to know how boring? Well, it's not. That sounds like a spoiler. The 400th reference, per usual, is the final reference. You know, it's like. Normally it's like you help yourself to the treasures, everyone loves you, you go home a hero, and you basically live like a king for the rest of your life. And this one's like, well done, pal, you've done it, and that's it. And you just sat there thinking, oh, okay, is there an alternate ending? But no, you just have. Do you reckon? I am actually gonna open this weird plastic wrapper, and I'm gonna read the ending. So once again, if you don't want this bit to be spoilt for you, feel free. How long is it going to take me to read this? 10 seconds. Feel free to skip 10 seconds from 3 to 1. Now, the ending says, I messed it up, didn't I? The ending says, you throw the Val Gonchong over the wall and stand on the battlements in full view of your men. A cheer rises from below and you watch to satisfaction as they easily defeat the Lizard King's demoralized troops. The battle is over and the victory is yours. The elves, dwarves and men can now return to their homes on the mainland, and the slave mines of Fire Island will close forever. Mungo would have been proud of you. So I think because I botched that, it might have taken longer than 10 seconds. But yeah, it's really, really disappointing. It's like, well done, pal. Well done. Cool, good for you. It's like doing like one heck of a... It's like, I don't know, saving like a family from a fire, and the dad just comes out and gives you a pat on the back and a thumbs up. It's like, bro, I just saved your life. Could you at least say thanks? So yeah, that's really the ending. It's a bit anticlimactic. I wanted to mention the ending, not because I wanted to spoil it, not because I just wanted to be a noob, just because it was just noticeably anticlimactic compared to the other endings in the other books. But that's really about it, guys. I know I've just rambled on a bit. I do, I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I do think it is 3 out of 5 stars. And even then, 3 out of 5 stars is like my middle ground. It's like, it's like, I don't really care, It's like, it was neither here nor there. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily good. With the Goodreads, I think 3 stars mean I liked it. I'm indifferent towards it. But yeah, I think if you were just thinking about getting this, because on Amazon you can buy the Scholastic edition just like that and get next day delivery or whatever. Maybe it's in your local bookshop. I'm not gonna discourage you from shopping wherever you want to shop. Generally speaking, just go wherever's easiest. But if you're looking at it, you're thinking, yeah, that looks like quite I like lizard men, they sound cool. I'm gonna say with the Scholastic version, definitely give it a look. Definitely. And for because me personally, I'd love to find out if they tweaked the art style so that the depiction of the tribespeople came off as a bit less not okay, if you get me. Because I know it's one of those things that, like, personally growing up, I remember there being absolutely nothing wrong with it. But growing up with the things that I grew up with, that there was absolutely nothing wrong with. There's things wrong with them now that, society has changed. That kind of thing. I would just be interested to see how the art styles change, to be honest with you, because generally speaking the Scholastic versions have that, like, I don't want to say ugly because somebody's put work into it, but I don't like it. It's like a digitalized art style, and it's like, I don't know if it's digitalized or if like people are just drawing it differently. It's all in black and white and pixelated, so I'm gonna guess, yeah, digitalized. Don't care at the end of the day. The art styles is different. I'd be interested to see what it's like. So yeah, I've rambled on for a fair bit. I've rambled on for a massive bit. Is this book worth it? It's 3 out of 5. I'm gonna say yeah. It's an okay book. Some people are gonna quite like it, some people aren't. And I think it's like that with everything. It's not like Marmite where you love it or hate it. This book it's pretty flat in the center. You might like it, you might hate it, but you're not gonna like it a lot, and you're not gonna hate it a lot. It's your bog standard fighting fantasy. It's obviously better than Forest of Doom, because my goodness, Forest of Doom is just weird and bad. But yeah, that's my verdict, boys and girls. Solid 3 out of 5. And yeah, 3 out of 5. I reckon it's 3 out of 5. So I just want to say thanks for watching. If you are watching, if you haven't zoned out, if you haven't flicked off into a different video, thanks for watching. It does actually mean a fair bit. I am hoping to go through all of the Wizards books, and then I think the series is going to end like the week before Christmas of this year. So I don't know what the date is specifically, because there's one book I don't know if I can get. I don't know if I will get it. I don't know what's happening with that book. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys and girls. Generally speaking, I put out these videos every Thursday for Fighting Fantasy. So yeah, if you're interested in the series, feel free to come along. If not, take care. Thanks for coming. So ta-ra, guys, take care. Thanks for coming. Ta-ra.